Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video we'll be talking about list comprehension in Python. And before I continue, I want to thank every one of you that is liking my video and subscribing to my video. God bless you, and I want to say that I appreciate and I love you. Please don't stop, keep liking, keep commenting and keep sharing my video. God bless you. You are helping me to grow, and you are helping somebody out there to learn and also grow. Alright, so what are we discussing today? Today we'll be discussing about list comprehension. List comprehension is a concise way to create lists in Python. If you have not gone through my video on list data structure, you can check the description below, or you can see it at the top here, and then you can watch the video on Python list data structure. Now, when we talk about list comprehension, it contains a list comprehension consists of a square bracket containing expression followed by a for loop statement or more if or for loop clauses. So you can put in all kinds of objects in a list. So what is the syntax? If you want to create a syntax for a list, for example, a list comprehension, for example, the syntax is like this. So we have, so the first one is the expression, okay, then the for loop, and then the item, okay, the item in a list, and then the if clause or for loop if we want to still add. So we can say if condition. Okay, so this is how the list comprehension expression is. So the first is the expression, okay, and then the item we are looping over or checking in a list, and then the condition we are going to dictate or spell out whenever that operation is taking place. So take for example, we want to create a square. So let's create a square of 4 numbers. Okay, we're going to create a square of numbers that is from 0 to 9. So let's do it. So here we are going to do, I'll just do SQ and I'll say equal to, okay, then in square bracket. Now inside this square bracket I have to specify the expression. So this x is the variable, then I'm going to loop through all the I, so this is x, so we're saying x exponential 2 for x in, so we have a range function, okay, and then we specify the number that we're looking for. So we say from 0 to 9, so we specify 10. All right, and then let's print our SQ. You can see that we now have a square of, so they start from 0, index 0, so 2, we have 1 here, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 is 16, 5 times 5 is 25, 6 times 6 is 36. So this is how the square bracket. So instead of us to write a for loop that will carry this expression, by just this single line expression we have been able to perform creating a list of squares for numbers that is between 0 to 9. Okay, then we can also a new list. Okay, so if we create a new list, we can also look through to add whatever we are getting to a new list. So this is what I'm saying. So here I'm now going to create a new list. I'll call this, let me just call it v. Please pardon my variable. So I'll say v, then a square bracket, and inside the square bracket I'm going to have 1 to 10. So I'll say 1. I'm going to now get the square of each of these values. So you can see that here I use the range function. Here I'm no longer using the range function, I'm specifying the number. So I'm going to replace the range function with this loop. So I'll say square, okay, we call it square, and then I'll say equal to, then I'll repeat the same thing. So this time let me just use I instead of F, exponential 2. Okay, then I'll say for I in our V, for I in V, and then I run it. So you can see what we are having. So start by looking at this. Okay, so 1 multiplied by itself will give you 1, 2 times 2 will give you 4, 3 times 3 9, 4 times 4 will give you 16, 5 times 5 25, and so on. So this is how exponential works with list expression. Alright, so if we are going to be doing this, we have to create a for loop and then loop through the entire list, okay, and then multiplying them. But then with list expression we can do that. Now we can also filter odd numbers from this number. Okay, as you can see, there are odd numbers and even number here, so we can still filter them out. Okay, so how do we do that? We can add a clause, like I said. So we can add an if clause like this. So if I is divisible by 1 is divisible by 2, okay, say if I is divisible by 2 and then is equal to 0, okay, so we should be able to print square. So let's print now. Okay, so you can see that it's returning, these are even number for us. Okay, so this is even number. List expression works in Python. Now let's move further. We can also use a list expression with the strings and with strings value. Okay, we can use it with strings as well. And then let's say we have a list of fruits, for example. So I'll have a variable that says fruits. Okay, and then I'll say equal to a square bracket. Now inside the square bracket I'm going to have different fruits. So here I'll say apple. In case this is strange to you, you can check my video on list data structure. So apple. So now we have a list of fruits. Now what we want to do is we want to be able to look through each of the word and check for letters. How do we do that? We can do that using list expression. So we are looking for letter E, any of this one that starts with E. Okay, so I can do E underscore word, okay, as a variable name. Alright, then I can now say that I can say I or whatever. So you remember I said it's variable, so I can say word or anything. So I can say word for word. I'm going to add another clause, and we are saying that if the word start with, okay, dot start with, okay, if it starts with E, okay, so it takes a parameter. The parameter is the word we are looking for. So I'll say if it starts with E, it should be able to print the letter for us. So let's print our so we say print, and then we specify the E underscore word, and let's print it.